Guess what I had to do at age 25 in order to change my own future? I had to change my mind. I had to change my thinking. I had to change my philosophy. I was messed up on what was causing my problem. And once I got that straightened out, that all the stuff I blamed, the government, taxes, the marketplace, and the economy, and things cost too much, negative relatives, cynical neighbors, once I got rid of that and started going for where the real problem was, which was me, I'm telling you, my life exploded into change. My bank account changed immediately. My income changed immediately. My whole life took on a whole new look and color immediately. And the early results I got from making these philosophical changes tasted so good, I've never stopped the process from that day. And I'm telling you, with a little consideration of the refinement of your sail, by setting a better sail, refining your philosophy, your whole life can start to change the day on. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You don't have to wait till next month. You don't have to wait till spring. You don't have to wait till 93. You can start this whole process immediately. I recommend it. Now, some people do so little thinking, they don't even have their sail up. I mean, you can imagine where they're going to wind up at the end of this week, at the end of this month, at the end of this year. Now's the chance to change, process all this information. So number one is philosophy. And we dealt with all that, where we get ideas, personal experience, from other people's experiences. I don't want to get into all those details because we covered that the last time I was here. But philosophy, that's number one, my personal opinion. Each person's personal philosophy. Here's the definition of success and failure. Just make this note. Here's failure. A few errors in judgment repeated every day. Now you can automatically assume, Mr. Rohn, I say, I can understand that. A few errors in judgment repeated every day. For 6 years, I'm with my father. I think I told this story the last time I was here. My father, 88 years old, he's never been ill, still hasn't retired. Not long ago, midnight, we're getting ready to go to bed. Drilled a new well, got some extra water, got some more acres going, he's all excited. At midnight, we're getting ready to go to bed. My father's eating what he calls his midnight snack. A little bite to eat before you go to bed. Don't have to go to bed hungry. And I'm watching him eat this midnight snack. Guess what he had? An apple, a few graham crackers, and a glass of grapefruit. I said, no wonder my father's so healthy. My mom taught us all those good health practices. Taught me when I'm growing up, right? I'm an only child. I've never been ill. Passed the big 5-0 some time ago. My 2 daughters, 32, 33, never been ill. My grandkids, never been ill. I'm telling you, the legacy lingers on. As I watched my father have this midnight snack, suddenly occurred to me. I know that's part of it. An apple, what? A day. That's gotten to Dallas-Fort Worth, right? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Good question for this intelligent audience. What if that's true? You say, well, Mr. Rohn, if that's true, that would be easy to do. Then what's the problem? It's easy not to do. It's easy not to adopt it as your own personal philosophy. Or the guy messed up to say. Guy says a Hershey bar a day. You say, no. You've been watching too much television. It is not Hershey bar. You gotta be smarter in philosophy than to fall for the Hershey bar a day when it's an apple a day. You gotta be smarter than that. And if you make that kind of an error in judgment every day for 6 years, I'm telling you, it'll accumulate into disaster. Sometimes the first year you say, well, I'm so healthy now, what difference is it gonna make? You gotta be smarter than that. Just because disaster doesn't fall on us at the end of the first day doesn't mean disaster isn't coming. You gotta be so smart that you look down the road and say, will the errors in my present judgment of philosophy, what's that going to cost me in 1 year, 6 years, 1 month, 6 months? I'm telling you, the money cost and the health cost and the success cost is too gigantic if you'll look down the road a little ways and say, are there errors in my current judgment like an apple versus a Hershey bar? Is that just a good illustration of some of the rest of my errors in judgment? If it is, that's where I found myself at age 25.
I was parked. I knew I could do more. But when my mama died, it took something out of me. When I went through a divorce, it took something out of me. When my best friend died, it took something out of me. I paused, and somebody said that life is like an onion. You have to peel it one layer at a time. And sometimes you cry. Life's going to happen to you when you have a dream. You're going to get slapped around. And don't take it personal. Don't ask, why did this have to happen to me? Why not you? Who would you suggest? You want to give us some names, some email addresses? And don't tell everybody. 80% don't care, and 20% glad it's you. It's called life. Suck it up and move on. Get over it. It happens to everybody. Here's the other thing is you look at your goals and look at your dreams. When you're going through some stuff, repeat out to me, please. When things go wrong, don't go with them. Yes, write that down. When things go wrong, don't go with them. When you're working on a business deal, you're counting on some money. Someone said you will get the loan and it falls through. You have an event and the people that you thought would be there and support you, they don't come through. Or someone turns against you or you get ripped off. It's going to happen to you. Happened to me. Someone stole all my products, my database, over 180,000 names and addresses. It's not personal. It's going to happen to everybody. It does. 8 out of 10 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. Walt Disney had 7. He filed bankruptcy 7 times and had 2 nervous breakdowns. It's called life. But I got a saying, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. You've got the power in you to do that. You've got something special. You've got comeback power.
When I was home, I lived in a car for 3 years. I made some decisions in my life, man, and threw myself off a cliff. My decision in October 8th, 1985, I walked into a comedy club for the first time on a dare from a girl. I walked into a comedy club for the first time. Had never heard of a comedy. All my life, I wanted to be on TV. Had never heard of a comedy. October the 8th, I walked into Hilarity's Comedy Club in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. That's right outside Akron. I signed up for the following week because I just wanted to see what the comedians did. Man, I saw live stand-up for the first time. They had 10 acts supposed to go up. 9 of them went up. 10th guy got scared and ran out the door. So I had signed up for the following week. The guy says, listen, we lost our 10th act. We're going to go to the phones. We're going to go to the week from next week. If Steve Harvey's here, come on up now. And the crowd started clapping. I was eating a chicken wing and drinking some grapefruit juice, and I turned to the girl and I said, it's a dude in here, got the same name I got. She said, you the stupidest bastard I know. All right, I'm getting close to that. It's that time limit. I was hanging in there, Grand. I'm sorry. Sorry about that, Grand. How long was I up here for? Did I get 20 in? Amen. Usually around 15, 20. So I ran up on stage. I don't even know what to do, but I just started talking about boxing, stuff that happened to me. Audience was hollering, laughing. They brought all 10 of us back up on stage. They had a clap off. I won the clap off. I won $50. I cried from Cuyahoga Falls to Cleveland. The girl kept saying, why you crying? It ain't but $50. I said, no, you don't understand. Way more than this what I do. She said, what you mean this what you do? This just your first time. You don't understand. Something happened to me. I won every night. I went to work the next day, October 9th, 1985, and quit my job.
Something to think about. Or did I completely lose you? Let me know. Are you with me on this? Yes or no? Yes? All right. So let me show you something. Now we're going to get intense. Get my book, by the way. It's called Max Out Your Life. I'm putting the screen up here, guys. You can get my book. I got another one coming next year. This one's good. It's like a booklet. It's like 100 pages. You can read it in a day. It's got all kinds of tactics and strategies. If you don't have the $9 or whatever it is, don't get it. Follow me on social media. Go to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Listen to my stuff. It's good. I'm going to brag for a minute. One time. I already told you what an idiot I am. I produce the best content in the world by a mile. I'm just going to tell you. It's the most tactical, the most detailed, the most inspirational, the most real, because I'm real. I've actually built something. I've actually done something. I don't come to events to sell you stuff. Sorry, I get emotional about it because I want you to win. I want you to be better. All my stuff is free. Okay? And I got a podcast you should listen to. I got a coaching program called theartesyndicate.com. All right. So now we're going to get intense. Okay. I'm a Christian man. I want to say this first. I'm a Christian man. My children, Max was 3 years old. We're in the back of the car one day and he said the F word. And my wife's dad was a pastor. Her brother's a pastor. I said, where in the world he had never heard me cuss. I said, where'd you learn the word? He goes, Mama says it every time somebody cuts her off, Daddy. So he learned a bad word. My son had never heard me cuss until the story I'm about to tell you. But if I don't cuss telling you the story, it won't be real. So I'm about to say some bad words. Are you all okay with that? Say yes, because it's the real deal. It really happened, okay? So I want to talk to you about winning now, okay? We got the emotional part of our life. Now we need to win. Here's the deal. You got to quit playing around. Time's running out on you. I don't care how old you are. It was yesterday, brother. I was your age. I was cool, sexy, and young. Now I'm old, beat up, and achy, okay? Let me tell you, time flies. Time flies. I'm 50 freaking years old next month. I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. 50 years old next month. My son, I'm the type of dad, you can put that up on the screen. I'm the type of dad, man, because I was an athlete, I played college baseball, I played Division I college baseball. I was a good player, I wasn't a great player. I had a catastrophic injury that formed a tumor. I started to lose part of my right leg that ended my career. It probably would have ended eventually anyways, but my career ended. So when I had a son, I did not want to be that dad. Any of you have boys in sports or girls in sports, you know that dad? You know the dad I'm talking about? The crazy dad? The guy that thinks his 5'6", 240-pound son's gonna play in the NFL. You know that dude, right? You should laugh at that. That's funny as hell, right? Has no genetic chance whatsoever of ever playing professional sports, but this dude's gonna turn him into one. So when my son started playing sports, I'm just gonna be honest with you. My son is not athletically gifted. My daughter is. Bless his heart. In fact, Max was so bad when he played baseball, we for years could not figure out whether this poor kid was left or right-handed. And I'm dead serious when I tell you this. To this day, I still don't know. He eats right-handed. He writes left-handed. He can't throw or catch. You you cannot play catch with a baseball with my son because he will probably get hit in the face. To this day, he is just not athletic. We put him in every sport. Football, flag football, he was the kid who blocked. You know what kids block, right? You know what I'm talking about. Basketball, no bueno. He went an entire season and did not score a basket, okay? Baseball, which was my sport, I got on the best hitting coaches on the planet. We just called him a switch hitter because we had no idea. So finally he stops playing sports. I'm like, you know what? But he's a hard worker. He's watched his dad work hard. Golf. And then, of course, when he started playing golf, left or right-handed, I had no idea. Still probably not sure. My son started playing in tournaments. We moved out to the desert. This is a picture of us. And I was this dad. I used to tell Max, hey, Max, you know Daddy loves you whether you finish first or last. You ever say that to your kids? I can't love you more if you win. My son started to take that stuff very seriously. And so we would go out, and where we lived, I moved where a bunch of professional golfers live and their son. And so the tour my son played on, your dad caddied for you. So I want you to picture, you're walking around, I'm carrying his bag 4 or 5 hours. I'd show up to the golf course, tattoos, Adidas pants on, tennis shoes, tank top. My kid's got some used set of golf clubs from Roger Dunn, ragamuffin little outfit. You can see it right there. That's not me. That's me and him playing golf right there. And then we play against these kids. Dad played on the PGA Tour. He's got this perfect outfit that identically matches his son, best golf clubs, best instructors in the world. Everybody we played with were pros. And so my son, we would play. My son's such a good boy. I always want him to be happy for everybody else. My son played on this tour. I want you to hear what I'm about to tell you. He played 32 tournaments. He finished last in 32 tournaments. Not third or fifth or 18th. Last in 32 tournaments. And we had a good time. We get in the car. I said, hey, have some fun, buddy. He shot 104. Winner shot 68. You have fun, buddy? Hey, Dad, that was awesome. Just got to be with my daddy today. And I'm like, good, I'm glad you had fun. Every week we would do this. Walk around, finish last, finish last, finish last. Did you have fun? Don't worry about it. My son's such a good kid. He'd top his first drive into a lake. You'd hit a good drive. Nice shot, Brian. Such a good shot. Everyone loved Max. Guy makes a big putt. Max was more excited for you when you made a big putt than you were that you made a big putt. Not a competitive bone in his body. And I thought it was great. I was building his self-esteem, building his self-confidence. He's not going to play professional golf anyways. And we would go week after week after week. And I thought I was, being a good dad. And then this happened. He's warming up that day. See what he's wearing there? It's a good golf swing. He's in a good position. Max's problem wasn't his swing. Max's problem was up here. Max's problem was up here. He didn't believe in himself. He didn't want to compete. He didn't really want to get after it. And so we played 9 holes that day. 2 professional guys are in our group. And here comes the bad news. We're at the turn. There's about a 100-yard walk between the 9th and 10th hole. And on this tour, the kids get a boxed lunch at the turn. We're playing with 2 dudes. The first dad has won on the PGA Tour, and his dad won on the PGA Tour. And now we're playing with his son. There's 3 generations. The other guy's a good player, and his dad played on tour too. And one of the dads says, we're walking, having a good time. Max is 11 back, 11 out of first place after 9 holes. And we get to the turn, and you have to go get the sandwiches, but they got to go hit. And one of the dads turns and says, hey, boys, you guys go ahead up there. We'll walk up to the deal. Max is out of it. He'll go grab your lunch for you. And Max goes, yeah, I'll get it. And he starts to walk. I said, stop. I said, what the fuck did you just say to my son? Sorry, to be real with you. I said, what the fuck did you just say? I said, we don't get your lunch, dude. I don't know who the hell you think you're talking to. You don't ever speak to my boy that way. I said, tell you what we're going to do. You guys go up to the tee box. I'll go get the lunch. Max, you stay right here right now. Now remember, this is, I love you, son. Never heard me cuss in his life. Now he's like, Dad, right? I got a tank top on. Max is 10 years old. I said, get over here. I said, get over. We're going to fucking win today. He goes, what, Dad? I'm scared. What, Dad? What about, you love me with her? I go, that's out the window. We're going to fucking win today. No one speaks to us like that. You hear me? And I'm shaking him. But I'm also anchoring it. Big emotional state, and I'm touching. I said, we're going to fucking win today, man. Well, Dad, I don't. I said, Max, listen to me. Here's what we're going to do. First, we're changing shirts. We're putting on your winning shirt. He had another shirt in his golf bag. I changed his identity physically. I said, you throw this jersey on. I said, come here. We're going to win today. Here's what we're going to do. No practice swings. Dad, I've never done this. We didn't line up putts. I let him pick his clubs. I said, I'm going to pick every club you hit. You're going to pick every club you hit. No practice swings. You execute. You got a beautiful swing, Max. You got a better swing than all of these guys out here. You're more flexible. You can hit it longer than most of them. We're going to win. Now remember, he's 11 back with 9 holes. I said, we're going to win. It's okay, Daddy. It's okay. I said, now listen, you go up to the tee. You hit the 3-wood. Don't hit that driver, because he sprays this driver. I said, you hit that 3-wood. I'm shaking. Look at this. You think I'm kidding? You see that? I said, you hit that 3-wood. No practice swings. You get up there and smooth it, Max. You smooth, okay, Dad. And I watch him, my little boy. My heart's breaking because I've never made him compete before. And I'm watching him walk. Max walk like this. All the way to the tee box. I'm getting the sandwich. I'm going to beat the shit out of this dad who said my kid, right? Right? I'm the nice guy. I'm the Christian guy. We're going to have bubbles and gum when we're done here. And I watch Max from a distance walk up, grabs his 3. Here's how bad Max was. You ever watch any of the know golf? My son can't even tee the ball. I'll never forget this. You know, normal players, like, they tee it up, they get behind it. Max was always like, trying to get the ball to balance on the tee. That uncoordinated. Finally gets the ball to balance on the tee. He comes back, no practice swing. Whoosh. right down the pooper, right down the middle. And I see it. I'm like, we're in business. And I kind of watch Max. He kind of hits it. He kind of flips his club a little bit from a distance. I'm like, all right. I get up there. I go, give me the club, man. I said, nice shot. And I'm walking down. I said, we're going to win today, Max. We're going to win today, Max. We're going to win today, Max. That was awesome. You smoked it. You're 3 weeks longer than their friggin' driver. He gets up there. I said, okay, I've never done this. Now I'm getting specific in detail. Before it was like, hey, hit a good shot. Now I'm like, look, hit this 8-iron. I want it 10 feet left of the hole. He goes, okay, Dad. I said, no practice swing. Sure enough, he gets up, hits it about 20 feet left of the hole. We got a 20-footer now for a birdie. This kid hasn't made a birdie in his life, right? We get to the green. Everybody marks their ball. Normally, what's Max do? He walks up to the ball, doesn't mark it, putts, picks it up. Good putt, Ryan. Nice birdie, right? So he gets up to the green. I said, hey, he gets ready to putt it. I go, you didn't even line it up. I said, take a look at the putt. He doesn't even know what he's looking at. He's like, okay, Dad, yeah, all right, I got you. Okay. Walks on the other side. He can walk around it, just like a pro. Walks around it. He's like, okay, Dad, God's so good, you guys. He delivers the moment when you need it. Max gets over the putt. He goes, Dad, I think it's about 2 feet left to right. I don't know either, Max. Just, I'm telling him, yeah, that sounds good, dude. Pulls the putter back, drains it, birdie. Okay, both those guys make bogey. Now we're 9 back. This is where God comes in. Next hole, I'm like, you know what? Smash the driver, Max, right? Smash the driver, buddy. He's like, all right. I said, you got this. Bam! Smokes the driver. All 3 boys smoke the driver, except now I watch something. Max starts to walk in front of me. Now he's walking like this down there. Totally different human being. I'm like, oh, he walks like me now. He's walking like his dad, right? We get down there. It's a par 5. It's got 225 yards in. 10 years old, 9 or 10 years old. It's got 225 yards. Both these other boys lay up. I said, Max, we got to make up some ground. Smash this 3-wood on the green. He kind of looks at me. I said, hit it. No practice swing. There's a lake in front of the green. There's a block wall with rocks on it in front. Max walks up. I'm like, good shot. I'm like, Jesus, please give this boy a break. Please, Lord, please. And it comes down, hits the wall, right up in the air. And I kind of do this, and Max goes, yeah, Daddy. And I go, what? It hit the wall, went forward, and rolled to about 6 feet away from the hole. That's God. That ain't me, right? That's God. I'm like, all right. Little Ian drops one in the lake. Little Mikey drops one in the lake. We're sitting on the green with an eagle putt. I'm like, Max, knock this sucker in. Take a look at it, walk it off. Same bull crap. He doesn't look at it. He looks around, looks at it, gets up, makes an eagle. We go birdie eagle with the new shirt on. Birdie eagle, right? Now Max is like, Dad, we're going to win this thing. I'm like, we are, buddy. We're going to win. And we get all the way to 18. He's down 1. We've never even met in the tournament. We've never even talked about this crap before. He's down 1 going into 18. There's a lake in front of the green again. I said, smash the driver, Max. It's you and Ian. Ian was the other boy left. Smash the thing, man. Max is walking around like, I own this place now, right? Kind of one of these deals. I got it, Dad. I got it. Sure enough, bangs it down the middle. They're both about 8 feet away from each other. And I hear Ian's dad say, don't hit it in lake. I go, Max, in lake. He's gonna hit it in the lake. My son's like, this language, Dad. I'm like, don't, just today, right? Right? Just today. And so, sure enough, Ian dunks it in the lake. I'm like, Max, this smoothie, put a smoothie on it, buddy. Hit this 8-iron 10 feet. We're getting the hell out of here. We're going to win this thing. And he does. He hits it about 15 feet left, except Ian comes up with the clutchest shot ever and hits his next one to about that close, taps in. So Max makes the putt, he wins. If he 2-putts, we tie and go to a playoff. Here's where I'm stupid. I go, hey, it's a quick putt. Don't hit this thing too far past the hole. We 2-putt, we go to a playoff. You don't say that. My son goes, I swear to you on my children, okay? My son goes, Dad, I'm gonna make it. I go, okay, then make it. Dumps it in. Yeah! He jumps out, yeah, Dad! There's nobody there. There's no crowd. I'm picking him up, running on the other dads are like, our kids win every week. I'm like, this is the greatest moment of my damn life, yeah! And Max couldn't believe it, couldn't believe he won, and it changed his life. Let me show you something. There he is with his medal after he won. Look at that little face. Now he's got his new shirt on, right? Right? And I know you look at that picture, you're like, he still stands like an unathletic dude. I know, but still, look at that. That changed his life. This is now me and him playing father-sons. You can look at that one. What's that say right there? Mylett, somewhere on there. 64. That's a pretty good score he shot that day. And that's when he's about 14. That's me and him now playing at Cabo. He's a little bit bigger than his dad now. By the way, he's lost 80 pounds since that picture, gotten fit. And this is him signing his college scholarship to go play golf, right? So, why do I tell you that, right? That cool? That's awesome. All right. I got chills. Why do I tell you that? Because that day, we decided to stop playing golf, and we decided to start winning at golf.
everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
So because you know what you want, the world's giving you exactly the information you need to become better at it.
Because you know what you're looking for.
So many guys tell stories about your work ethic.
Yeah.
What was really your work ethic like, and for how long did you stay disciplined?
Well, I mean, every day. I mean, since, for 20 years. I mean, it was an everyday process, and trying to figure out strengths and weaknesses. For example, jumping ability. Man, my vertical was a 40, it wasn't a 46 or a 45. My hands are big, but they're not massive. Right? So you got to figure out ways to strengthen them so your hands are strong enough to be able to palm a ball and do the things that you need to do. Quickness, I was quick, but not insanely quick. I was fast, but not ridiculously fast. Right? So I had to rely on skill a lot more. I had to rely on angles a lot more. I had to study the game a lot more. And but I enjoyed it though. So like from the time I can remember when I started watching the game, I studied the game, and it just never changed. It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You got to put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't touch me. Don't talk to me. Just leave me alone.
How did you get mentally and emotionally so strong where it doesn't bother you?
Well, you got to look at the reality of the situation. Like for me, it's not, you kind of got to get over yourself. It's not about you, man. Like, okay, you feel embarrassed. You're not that important. Like, get over yourself.
That's where you go.
Get over yourself, right? Like you're worried about how people may perceive you, and like you're walking around and it's embarrassing because you shot 5 air balls. Get over yourself, right? And then after that, it's okay, well, why did those air balls happen? Got it. High school, year before, we played 35 games, max, right? Week in between, spaced out. Plenty of time to rest. In the NBA, it's back to back to back to back to back to back to back. I didn't have the legs. So you look at the shot, every shot was online. Every shot was online, but every shot was short. Right? I got to get stronger. I got to train differently. The weight training program that I'm doing, I got to tailor it for an 82-game season so that when the playoffs come around, my legs are stronger and that ball gets there. So I look at it with rationale. Say, okay, well, the reason why I shot air balls is because my legs aren't there. I go, well, next year they'll be there. That was it.
Done.
Were
there some names that you looked at and says, these 3 guys are as crazy as I am?
At the time, I deal with what I've referred to as Goat Mountain. I went to Goat Mountain, and I talked to Magic, Michael, Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jerry West, Oscar Robinson, Bill Russell. So I would talk to them. What did you do? What were your experiences? Michael in particular, he's become my big brother. He's been my big brother since I first came in the league. And what was that process like? So I went to them and started understanding the ins and outs of the game and how they approach things and their level of detail and obsessiveness. And that's what I did. The players that had that passion but weren't willing to commit their entire lives to doing that, right? It's a choice, right? You have other things. You have family. You have all these other things that you have to do. The game can't really be your number one priority. And so I was just looking at that like, man, this is going to be fun.
Too many of you are stuck, and this is not going to work because.
I stopped asking the question, how long will it take? And I started asking the question, how far can I go? And everything changed that day.
For people that don't understand the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset, how would you just summarize it right here?
So a fixed mindset is somebody who believes that their talent and intelligence are fixed traits set at birth. Somebody with a growth mindset believes that their talent and intelligence are malleable traits that will change with disciplined practice. And once you go from the fix to the growth, then all of a sudden everything changes, because you realize, I'm not good at that yet. And just by putting that appending word on there, you realize, oh, okay, so if I wanted to put energy into that, I could get extraordinary.
See, in the real world, nothing comes easy. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the blood, sweat, tears. If it doesn't hurt a little bit, if it doesn't sting a little bit, if it doesn't make you a little uncomfortable, you probably won't get very much out of it.
People see the 30%. They don't see the 70% of not making it or not getting what you want.
Your outcomes in life are often a lagging measure of your habits. We think the thing that needs to change is the bank account or the test score or the number on the scale, but actually the thing that needs to change are the habits that precede those outcomes.
But I changed from a goal mindset to a growth mindset.
I switched my mind to something else. Switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time. You got to put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become better. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
You're either moving forward or standing still. The choice is yours. Decide.
In life, you have two situations. You are either born with too much, because your parents are rich and they got you, or you're born with too little. And both are strengths and weaknesses. Your mindset decides it.
My freshman year, I don't play a lick. And before I knew it, I lost my mindset again. And I began to recalibrate. You know, everybody doesn't play in the NBA. I'll graduate in 4 years. You know what? I just go get a good job. It's okay. It's okay. And the end of my freshman year, my daddy called me on the phone. He asked me a question. He said, son, you're not playing. Why not? Politics, Dad. It's political. My father asked me a question. He says, how did your coach get paid, son? I said, Dad, he gets paid to win. He says, okay, son, if your coach gets paid to win, won't he play the players to give him the best chance to win? He said, son, you got recruited. You took all your visits. You chose Minnesota. You took your time and you chose Minnesota. You told me that you're going to turn that program around. You told me you're going to graduate in 4 years. You told me you're going to make more money in business than you did in sports. One of the core values of our training and development called family was accountability. That was a core value of that training and development organization called the Bond Family Accountability. He said, so go back and do what you said you're going to do. My father reminded me of what I said I was going to do. I went back to my coach's office. I said, Coach, what do I need to do to play in the NBA? He looked confused. This is what I told him. I'm going to become somebody different. What do I need to do to play in the NBA? I'm taking this thing to the next level. We're about to rise up. So for you to be passionate, your logic and your emotions need to be intertwined. See, some of you guys have the intellect and some of you guys have the passion, but you have to have both to be successful in this business.
So he really got on me about nutrition. Now, some of those health books are a bit weird, but you can separate out the weird stuff. There are cassettes on nutrition too. Remember, don't be a follower, be a student. Someone says, I read this book. Should I follow? And the answer is no. Read at least 2 books and make up your own mind. Don't be a follower, be a student. So take care of yourself. There's a Bible phrase that says, many times the spirit is willing, but the body's weak. So you have to work on both. You wake up in the morning and the mind says, let's go get 'em. And the body says, I can't even get out of bed. So work on your health. A person's library of books and cassettes reveals his or her most dominant desires. It's interesting to walk into someone's house and browse through the library. What does your library say about you? So read all the books. Now here's good news. You don't have to read them all at once. Try this. 2 books a week in 10 years is 1,000 books. If you read 1,000 books in the next 10 years, do you think they would greatly influence all the dimensions of your life? The answer is, of course. next? Well, here's what's exciting. It's only 2 books a week. However, I would suggest if you haven't read 2 books a week for the last 10 years, you are about 1,000 books behind. Can you imagine the incredible disadvantage it will be 10 years from now to stride into the marketplace 1,000 books behind? For some confrontations, you won't be a match. And for some opportunities, your knowledge will be too lacking. For some values, your philosophy will be too shallow. Missing skills, missing knowledge, missing insights, missing values, missing lifestyle. It could happen if you don't read the books. Remember, the book you don't read won't help. You can't read too many books, but you can read too few. Now, the next way to learn from others is to listen. Become a great listener. Get around successful people and listen. Listen to what they say, and listen to how they say it. There is something to be said for style as well as content, and never has listening to successful people been easier or less costly than it is today. With cassettes like the one you're listening to now, you can own cassette programs by and about the most successful people in any field. And you can listen to their ideas while you do something else, while driving your car, exercising, getting dressed in the morning, anytime. Listen over and over again until their ideas become your ideas, their inspiration, your inspiration. A lot of the books you're anxious to read, such as Think and Grow Rich, have been condensed and narrated on cassette. Your cassette library of great authors and ideas can be the investment with the greatest return of all. Great cassettes will do more than teach you great ideas. They'll also remind you of the important things you already know but sometimes forget. They'll lift your spirit. They'll keep your mind on what's important, on your goal and how you can achieve it. And what a modest investment for the seeds of fortune. Ideas well written, well spoken, well received, well learned, and well invested can be your driving life force for wealth and happiness.
You probably gifted, probably just as gifted as Wayne. But what do Wayne do more than anybody else? I bet you he outwork everybody. See, you get tight right now because you probably thinking, yeah, he don't outwork me. Yeah, he do. You can tell because it shows up. He might not outwork you, but maybe he smiled more. He might not outwork you, but maybe he got away with people more. Maybe he just a people person. See, all these is gifts. Your gift will make room for you. You got to identify your God-given gift. If you don't identify your gift, you're going to waste your time. Telling jokes is my gift. It's what I do. I don't even know y'all. Let me tell y'all something. Listen, if I want to, I could turn this into a comedy show. I promise everybody in here be throwing up. If I want to. I retired from stand-up. But do you understand who I am? Y'all must have forgot. I'm one of the original kings of comedy. I was a bad boy. It's my gift. So even as a motivational speaker, I use my gift. Nothing's more boring than sitting up listening to somebody talk for 45 minutes and you ain't laughed in 45 minutes. You ever snap your head back and you ain't know what you was? You ever been in church? Now, how did I get to October the 8th? Let me tell you how I got there. 1968. Oh, you gonna take it? Okay. I'm happily married. Better be fine, girl. I was telling you about your education a second ago. I heard somebody talk about the importance of education, and education is critical. You have to be educated. You have to be well read. You got to be well versed. There's no way around it.
That he is the God of detail, that every aspect of their created fiber fit into the environment in which they had been created so that they could function and eat and survive without losing anything or destroying anything. He was explaining to me everything. He was explaining to me like this amazing stuff, how he could look like at the dung of the animals and tell, you know, whether it was a male or a female or which way it went and all that kind of stuff. I looked at it. I didn't see too much, but it smelled something, but I didn't see nothing. But I was on the Jeep with my son and myself and the zoologist who was a professor from a university who had a wealth of knowledge and information and intellect, and he could explain everything about the animals. He could explain everything about them. But there was a Zulu who was sitting on the front of the Jeep in a small little chair with some kind of big old outfit on, and he was sitting out there, and the zoologist could explain about the animals. He knew everything about the animals, but he couldn't find them. The Zulu who was sitting on the edge of the Jeep said, "The elephant is over there." And all of a sudden, something hit me right smack dab in the middle of my bald head. I said, I am sitting right in between intellect and instinct. Intellect can explain it, but only instinct can find it. Instinct is an inborn pattern of behavior that is characteristics of a species whereby you have a motivation or impulse or a gut knowing. Or if you're a spiritual being, it's a prompting of the Holy Spirit. It defies logic or intellect, bypasses senses or reasoning, has nothing to do with what you read or studied or learned in school. It's the inner impulse, the nudging of the Holy Spirit to react beyond information. Now, intellect is real important. It's very, very important. You got to have intellect. The more intelligent you are, that too is a gift from God. But intellect without instinct will cause you to fall short from the elephant is over there. I said that good, didn't I? Try that with me. The elephant is over there. Oh, y'all are messing that up. You just hear. You take that Australian and mix it with that African, it just falls over in the floor. I'm going to give you one more time. Say it. The elephant is over there. Good.
Stress, by the way, is the achiever word for fear. No, I'm not scared. I just have to get these things done. I'm stressed out. All these things are done. Well, what if you don't get them done? I have to get them done, but what if you don't? Well, then the thing will fall apart. What if it falls apart? Well, then it'll fail. What if it fails? Then I'll be a failure. If I follow the trail of your stress, it will bring me to your deepest fear. So if you own your fear, you can figure out where it is, and I can show you how to change it in seconds. And when fear is no longer around, fear is your only enemy. Because when fear is not there, nothing stops you. Who's with me on this? Say I. But we don't call it fear because that doesn't seem cool to us. We're all adults. But kids show their fear? Oh yeah. They'll do it. They'll make sounds. They'll do everything. So I'd like you to do this time is when you greet somebody, I want you to exaggerate like you're deathly afraid. Like, hi. I want you to exaggerate it so you'd see what you're doing on a very subtle level underneath. I'll show you an example. Who's ever watched the Winter Olympics on television and you're in your chair and watching somebody snowboarding or skiing, and as you're watching, feel yourself doing this? Who knows what I'm talking about here? Say hi. So I'm going to ask you to exaggerate so you notice it. So please play full out. It's the only way you're going to see what you do, and see what do you do differently with your face, your voice, your body when you're really afraid. And it'll show you contrast. Just for 1 minute. As many people as you can, totally exaggerate. You're deathly afraid. Go. Greet them, greet them, greet them. Okay, stop. Shake your body out. Shake your body out. Now, nice and loud. Did you use your body differently to go in this state? Yes or no?